Today's tutorial will show you how to develop an anaglyphic 3D stereo rig using After Effects, unlike the Shake script that you can also find in the scripts download page. The underlying scene that I'm using for the base of this is really something that I put together in about 5 minutes. So feel free to use your own scene if you have something. Otherwise, um, go ahead and use the one that comes with the project files. Uh, I'd also like to mention that this tutorial is only possible because of the help from Andy Davenport of Media Station, um, who had a tutorial that this is based off of from the January 2010, January 2010 issue of 3D World magazine. There are a lot of complex steps involved in this, so don't be discouraged if it doesn't work out right away for you. And um, also consider downloading and printing off the bullet pointed steps that I will have typed up for you to follow along as well, because that will have the expressions written out, which can be kind of tricky at times. So without further ado, I'll just show you quickly what we're making here today. Again, as you can see, not a whole lot of time was spent on the comp itself, and the main reason for this tutorial is to figure out how to make this anaglyphic stereo rig. Alright, so if you open up, let's actually start with start one. If you open up the Start 3D camera rig, you will see that only the master scene is created, and we have a couple simple images that have a CC sphere added to it and some background space junk. First thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and create two new comps. Name them right eye and left eye, and you're going to want to be careful to stick with your naming conventions in terms of capitalization. So I just find it easier to capitalize the names of all your compositions. After you've created your two comps, go ahead and drag the master scene file into both of the comps. What we're going to be doing is creating the left eye image and then the right eye image, and then we will create a third comp that brings those two comps in to create the stereo rig. Before you move on from this one, you're going to want to also turn these into 3D layers. And if you don't see these icons right here, what you need to do is come down here and toggle the switches mode. The other thing you want to do is add a camera to each of these compositions, and 35mm camera should work. 50mm would probably also work, and you want to name these left cam and right cam respectively. Again, be careful about your naming conventions because it will bite you in the ass if later on if you don't keep track of all these things. The final comp we need to create we will call stereo rig, and this will be the comp that brings everything together and gives us that actual stereoscopic view. Now we need to add both the right and left eye comp. And in order to work with this right now, and to make it work with the 3D glasses, hopefully you have a pair of red and blue 3D old school glasses. There was actually a Michael Jackson Grammy special that was going on. I didn't happen to watch it, but I did manage to grab a whole bunch of free glasses that were being given away for free at Target. So I'm sitting on about 50 of them. I figured I should put good use to them. So ergo this tutorial. So the next thing we want to do to make these color corrected for the right eye is add a shift channel. So go up to Effects, Channel, Shift Channels, and take from red we want full off. And that'll give us that blue look. Again, we want to go add a second one to the left eye comp. And this time we want to take blue and green full off. And that should give us the red look. Right now you don't really see it because both of these modes are normal. What you want to do is go ahead and select the topmost layer, doesn't matter if it's right eye or left eye, and change the mode to add. And now you see what looks like the original image. And it's actually the two images layered over each other. The reason you're not getting the stereo look yet is because you haven't shifted either of the images left or right. So if you go like this, you'll notice that it's actually two different images. So in order to get it so that the stereo rig works, we now have to add a couple controls that will make it much easier and much more simpler to modify it in the future and also keep everything working in harmony. So inside the stereo rig, you're going to want to go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, rename this one Controls, and to rename layers in your inside of After Effects, you probably know this, but highlight it and hit the Enter button. I know I had a problem with that when I first started out in After Effects, couldn't figure it out for the life of me for about a week, and it drove me mad. First control we're going to add is a convergence, a slider, and name it convergence. There are a couple tenets of 3D stereoscopy that you need to know about that I'm not really going to get into in this tutorial. I'm hoping over the next month to put together a couple tutorials on stereoscopy inside of Maya, and in those tutorials I will really get into everything you need to know about what's going on with a 3D rig. So we're going to go up here, go Effects, Expression Controls, Slider Controls, and we want to name this one Convergence. And now we need to jump back into the left eye composition and add an expression to the position property. So to do this, or oh, excuse me, no, we don't want to jump back in there. We want to add it to the left eye comp in here. So to do this, hit P, and then you need to alt-click this